Hey, get rid of your son. Fuck your son. Hey, I'll be back, all right? Hey, how you doing, Sose? Hey, I'll call you back, all right? All right, take it. Hey. It's pretty safe over this way.
Safe?
Well, from like ears. Listen, Sose, for the love of God, do not talk to this coyote and slacks guy. Jesus fucking Christ. One on my life circling around. We need more numbers. That's it. That's all they could fucking articulate.
Slacks is an idiot.
Yeah, I've
Wait, that's
I
not
always
him
give
over there,
people
is it?
second chances. No. That's Archibald, Tilly, and Archie.
Listen, if somebody's going to take a month to do nothing, to me they've had 1,000 chances. I don't think he's worth the time, honestly. Did you know the other day I saw that man go into the apartments over there with another officer, and he was searching somebody's property, and he told me that he didn't have a search warrant to do so. And I told him that was against the Constitution, but he still did it.
You called me. Yeah, you called me.
Right. Yes, I mean...
2 seconds. The guy just needs to write it down. Yes, I give permission. Boom. Here's the warrant, Judge. Sign it. Done. Go and go.
Exactly. Simple. As I was saying, though, earlier, shit, what was it? I had something, oh, actually, this new case law that came out just recently, implying jurisdictions on properties are existent in fence lines and, what would deem, logical.
Correct. This is in regards to the vehicle that was towed over in Grapeseed, and now the legislation says that there needs to be a clear, private property sign. Otherwise, tow has the legal authority to move it without any recourse. That was done by a Kit Archer, and who's on the other side? Roman.
That's what I was thinking, and my theory with it was, wouldn't this just help my case on jurisdiction? Because now it is clear that if it is marked and you say Los Santos County, then that is your jurisdiction. So why the fuck would Blaine County have a jurisdiction if it isn't written? This is the initial argument that was, founded on the same thing. We know there's 2 counties. They claimed one and hadn't written another.
I mean, I don't think it's going to help Soze just because the way that's written. Yeah, I genuinely think that this county thing is like really good, especially for representation. But the best course of action, because just to remind you, I dealt with the head of the DOJ literally memeing for 30 minutes about it's like a sign saying Los Santos and being confused why it also says national on it, as if this is the first time it's happened in the history of America. No, it's like literally every federal building. Like New York, blah, blah, does not mean that it's not a federal building. It means it's a federal building in fucking New York.
Exactly.
So I feel like when it comes to these things, the best process is having the right legislators, and what I mean is like a lawyer to draft up something that's comprehensive, tying it to a comprehensive alterations to the Constitution with merit and reason, and then pushing it up to the feds. I think anything outside of that, especially when it comes to things that high level, having a bunch of bozos that, predetermine, conclusions on a smell test, or whoever whispers in the ear first, is an absolute waste of time.
So my understanding is, well, from what they've said, is the entire state is broken off from any other sort of laws or whatnot, so the Constitution is the only law, right? And everything under it. Well, I mean, yeah, it'd make sense to do that, but at the same time, listen, if you were to go into, the mayor roles, I believe the Constitution should be fucking abandoned and rewritten on something that is more...
Agreed.
Sensible.
1,000% agree with that. I don't know if abandoned, but rather altered. So you take that shamble of a skeleton and you expand on it. Like, what is a search and seizure beyond the few sentences? What is due process beyond his due process? And by the way, this is a special bench trial case.
So consider the bills that are generally passed on, constitutions higher than, municipals. There's generally rights, freedoms, and, those sort of bills that get passed. And then it's the base of the fundamental law. So the way I'd see it is a search, DNA, and all those would just be under due process and the right to privacy. Why would anything else, be defined inside the core of the Constitution? The reality is, if a judge looks at a Constitution and it's very open in terms of our rights, for instance, health and safety, but there was no jurisdiction implied in Blaine County for law enforcement, they could say, well, listen, at least the Constitution says we have a right to protection and safety. So it would make sense that we would have police up there doing this sort of thing. So, there's a fallback to make the case law instead of just... I'm interested to see. Apparently they're making case law based on my case, but nobody's told me what it is. So I guess we'll see how they plan to define that.
There was a big push to get this common law stuff out. And I haven't seen anything new pop up yet, so...
Right. Well, Bones did just say they're working on it, so I assume something is coming from it. So it's going to be interesting to see how they say, in fact, how a jurisdiction was defined in that court case.
Oh,
I assume they would do it, right?
Man, coming off the heels of that last conversation, I fucking hope so, but it still Soze absolutely makes my mind numb that people think it's a funny meme to for the of and from, like, as if that like,
they don't understand.
It's like, hey, I didn't pass elementary school. Like, the fuck is happening?
Yeah.
1 + 1 = 2, Omega lol. What?
So
yeah, it does.
It was all based on...
What's so funny about it?
Yeah, it's also based on the implication in which he went out front of the National building. Like, what the fuck does this prove exactly? You're just on something that's funded by the federal government, or was before it was taken over, because apparently we broke off. So I guess it'd just be state now, but either way, if there's a... This is what I said to them as well. If there's a national park, which there is, just up there, there's a federal ranger inside it. They're not necessarily able to go to every park in America, though. They're just funded by those people.
Oh, 1,000%. Yeah, that's where the park ranger goes, and, like, make sure the fucking, I don't know, the fucking rain, like the deers or whatever fucking wildlife don't get,
shot,
murdered.
Run over. Yeah. Listen, either way, I was going to say, okay, the way it's all written in legislation, I was thinking, I've got an idea. It isn't so much about just getting you into the mayorship and having a control entity there. I was thinking something along the lines of some time into your shift. If it is not suggested or done, then you were to write a legislation to imply that there's another mayor of similar power up there, and then somebody could do that. But the reason for this is, if it was to come in a month or so after your mayorship, and then you were to get removed, there would still be the power entity thereafter to be able to do things. What would you think of something like that?
I am definitely pro more representation based on area, but I didn't follow exactly. So a month into it, proposed that there should be another governing entity in the Blaine County.
Yes.
But what was the second part of it?
A mayor of Blaine County.
Yeah.
That's it. The reason you do it afterwards
and then
is
pull out of the authority from it.
Well, that's the thing. Right now, nobody technically still has authority there because they both indicate of Los Santos. So the dumb fuck mayor said he has the power to create entities up there, but didn't use that power to write it on paper, right? So technically, whatever you write would be there because the state's going to sign off on it. So if you say
I see.
there's now a mayor up there. They have equal authority, but you do it halfway through your term, so that way, if your term fails, you have the other entity to rely on to change legislation. So it's like a cycle where you can manipulate it.
I see. Okay. Oh my god. Honestly, having seen the other candidates, why the fuck not?
Well, that's the thing. I mean, there's going to be nothing that would oppose it. There's absolutely nothing that would oppose it. I don't see how it wouldn't work, and I'm not sure how the council is done exactly. But there's also some other things I looked at. It says in the oath in which they take that every single council member is meant to take that oath. And if they didn't take that oath, then their votes wouldn't have been legitimate, which would mean that almost every legislation has been calculated wrong. Because I've been told that the mayor didn't do it. The DOG lead didn't do the oath. And there was a few others. It was only the elected, I believe, that did the oath. So that
Holy
could mean
fucking shit.
every piece of legislation right now is actually, incorrectly done, if that's the case.
Oh my god. Which would make it extremely easy to repeal some of this shit.
Well, everything would be repealed if you wanted to. Anything that was voted on at all would be repealed because it was discussed among people that didn't take the oath. So,
and if we ask for evidence of it and there is no documented evidence, well Reposo.
What I'd say to do is don't mention anything and just try to ask council members, did everybody take the oath? But have a video camera there and make sure you, get the evidence. So if one person says, I didn't take the oath, then everything that was voted on they were in, I believe, is,
What if I were to tell you I got a council member that might have not taken the oath, and he'll likely say it pretty confidently?
Well, I mean, if they voted on all these things, then it's evident that it was done incorrectly per the procedure. It's only the council members that are meant to vote on this, and you're only a council member once you've done the oath. Otherwise, you're not a council member. So any discussions, anything would be completely void, from my understanding, if that was the case. Which means, how did the mayor get written up exactly? I don't know. I assume that was the DOJ that wrote that up.
What do you mean by wrote up the mayor? Like, I don't think there's any
How it works.
there's no. There's nothing for shit. I mean, I was trying to get state budgets and like try to get ahead of like getting economic breakdowns for shit. There is a piece of legislation that just says, hey, you're allowed all this information. It doesn't tell you how to get it.
Yes. And then
there is literally nothing.
It's still the same. Or
let's
make a
not
constitution with impeachment that only says the elected people can be impeached and implies nobody else can be impeached on the fucking planet. Listen, if there's this many holes in it, maybe see if you can just get that evidence, because it might be there might be a way to imply that this was all done in a way that wasn't even legal. Maybe the council shouldn't even exist at that point.
Yeah, I mean, maybe you're right. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, right? It's, when most of this shit, I think, has been pushed in for a very single-digit number of entities, it's gonna have these holes because it was a means to an end.
Well, yeah, holes are good as long as they get filled, but you don't make holes on holes on holes on holes on holes on holes. It just ends up becoming nothing. Listen, either way, okay. I mean, It'd be great if you could get feedback off the council member. I might go find a couple myself if I can talk to Cornwood or something, and just see if there's any evidence of it being, you know, a failure in itself.
I'll have a chat with one of them tomorrow.
Sounds good. Well, keep us filled in, and you know, just think on the extra mayorship because, I mean, if there's no legislation up there and you would get to write the laws, I mean, I'm sort of free at the
Why
moment.
not change them all?
Don't have much going on. If you need somebody to, you know, help you run the place up there, just let me know.
You know what? That might be pretty nice. I mean, listen, it's Blaine County. I mean, you know, do they really need as many restrictions when voting in a mayor?
Well, I believe if there was that act, it would only be the people up there that would vote, and a lot of those people are criminals, and a lot of those people I've already talked to as well, and I'm sure they'd be on your side no matter what, so I don't think it would be a way to lose that, really. It'd be easier than taking this election.
I believe right now there's a restriction that you have to be a non-felon. I'm saying like, you know, if a position were to open up over there, maybe that restriction wouldn't exist.
Exactly. I mean, it's a different municipal government, so it makes sense the legislation would have to be written for it to exist. Unless, of course, you're the Blaine County Sheriff's Office. You don't need legislation there.
You know, the funny thing is, I would get voted in or have backing if, you know, the whispers where it was referenced as Little Sanguine. People resonate with that for some reason.
Oh, Blaine County is Little Sanguine.
That's what some people call it up there, yeah.
I'm not sure what happened with all that shit, but I mean, must have been some crazy shit because they thought I was trying to turn that thing into Sanguine.
Yep. Okay. Well, shit. All right. I'm gonna think on this. All right. I'll talk to the guy tomorrow morning.
Yep.